Hey, hello guys. This is We the Kings, Nosotros los Reyes. And first of all, I want to apologize to bands and all of you guys for uploading this content too late. I had summer 1 and summer 2, and it was hell, but we made it. We're almost done with this. And I'm gonna change the format of the program now. They're gonna be, each program is only gonna have one band, including video. So I'm gonna upload this to the same websites I usually do and YouTube with video now. Okay. And today's program is going to be featuring a band from El Paso, Texas, named As the City Sleeps. And, well, hope you enjoy it, guys. Hola a todos, esto es Nosotros los Reyes. Y quiero pedir disculpas a las bandas que grabé oyentes, porque me he tardado un poco de tiempo en subir este contenido. Estuvimos muy ocupados este verano y vamos a cambiar el formato del programa. Va a ser ahora nomás una banda por programa, porque las entrevistas duran 20 minutos y el toquín dura otros 20 y el programa se queda en menos de una hora. Y la banda que hoy vamos a presentar, que fuimos a grabar, se llama As the City Sleeps, son del Paso, Texas. Y muchas gracias por escuchar.
She's the ghost of my So guys, we are As the City Sleeps. You guys are digging it. Let us know. You guys can give Jimmy a seat. Hey, he got his own seat. Sweet. Let's try to figure it out. Have to remember the song. This is a cover. I hope you guys dig it. Yeah. I dream my days gotta surface trees, nails, and open your say of mine. For the ages, just open and say, I swear, what promise can you promise is true, babe? You'll take my name. Can you promise give it up to Mr. Chris Silvercord. Let's give it up for that dude because he opened. And let's give it up for Mr. Daniel Villaseñor. He's amazing. We are As the City Sleep, guys. We are on Spotify and iTunes and all that good stuff. We just came back from a week-long tour, which was amazing balls. We went all the way up to Seattle, went to Pasadena, was it? San Francisco, Sacramento, Portland twice, Seattle, and we were supposed to go to Vegas, but then, you know, when it comes to tours, there's always something happens. But yeah, it was fun. It was cool. I totally advocate going to Cannon Beach, where the Goonies were filmed, and it was amazing. And we'll never replicate that. And hopefully we'll do more tours and stuff, right? Yeah. This time on the East Coast, we'll do New York and stuff. Yeah. We got two more guys. We got two more, and then we have Le Crime, L.A. Crime. Like I don't know how to. Is that a thing? Okay, cool. Sweet. We'll do that. Oh yeah. That's what up to play. We're actually in the studio right now, and we're recording our second album, and it's going to be a full length. And this is one of the songs. No one's heard it. The only people that have heard it are people from the tour. This is brand new, guys. We actually came up with this song while we were playing the last song. As amazing as that sounds, no, that's not right. This one's called Welcome to the Flip. expect Jimmy to get back on the kit, man. That was cool. Was that you playing the kit? Ah, just kidding. Anyway, all right, we got one last song, guys, and then we got LA Crime. No? God damn it, I'm sorry. I'll get it right. We got La Crime coming up, guys. And yeah, I think I have one of these up next month. Hopefully it'll be propetario, but I don't know. It's still cool though. It's a cool little vibe. Got the we just need fog. Damn it! Where's the fog machine, Jimmy? Can't count on anything. Can't count on you, bro. Anyway, this one's called We Only Have Tonight. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Thank you so much for clapping and doing all the good stuff. And yeah, again, we are As the City Sleeps. You guys want to buy us like a shot, whatever. You're more than welcome to. No, I'm just kidding. I have to work tomorrow. But this one's called We Only Have Tonight. And thank you. Give it up for Jimmy over here. Much, guys. We are As the City Sleeps. Stay tuned for the crime.
Hey guys, this is We the KingsNosotrosLosReyesepisode3. And we have the band As the City Sleeps here at Neon Rose, in Paso, Texas. And will you please, guys, introduce yourselves?
I'm Jimmy Quintanar, drummer.
Alan Martinez, vocals and guitar.
Okay, guys. How long have you been playing together?
Oh man, with this project, well, it's because it's kind of weird when it comes to me and Jimmy because we've played in other projects previous, and then we just kind of went our ways, and then we just kind of ended up back together. So I mean, I've known Jimmy since middle school, really, and for some odd reason, we just kind of always keep on coming. Like we go our separate ways, and we always full circle come back together. So it's just one of those things that, you know, kind of has to happen, sort of. So we just kind of let it happen now. But with As the City Sleeps, I started off as like just kind of an acoustic project for myself, and I bumped into him and I was like, hey man, like you want to play drums for this? And he's like, yeah. So he agreed to it, and how long ago was that, man? Like
That was like maybe like 5 years ago.
no, that was for the
3
other
years
one.
ago?
That was for Murder Remedy.
Maybe like two
For
years
this-
ago.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 years ago. I don't know. That's what I'm saying, man. It's just kind of with all the projects that, you know,
Yeah.
me and Jimmy are together, and just kind of like it's a hazy little
On
thing.
and
So I
off?
guess on and off, I guess, but it's different projects. But with As the City Sleeps is about 2 years. So that's a straight answer. But the more detailed answer is we've known each other for a very long time, and we always have projects going on.
Okay, and you always play acoustic, like acoustic sets, or?
No, the thing is that sometimes, I don't know, my songs just kind of that's how I write them acoustically. So, and then later on we layer them like in the studio. We add like electric guitars and bass and all that stuff or whatever. We add more instruments. But for some reason, I just acoustic. I mean, even if it's electric guitar or whatever, we arrange them in a way that acoustically, it kind of gives off that vibe, just chill, really ambient type stuff. So we don't necessarily always play acoustic. We have like a full band and stuff, but I mean, it lends itself to acoustic sometimes, which is pretty good.
Yeah, once I get the cue that it's an acoustic set, then that's when I bust out with my congas. Otherwise, it's the drum set for the other type of shows.
And it's always a two-man band, or sometimes you have other instruments?
Yeah, well, the thing is that our bass player lives in Austin, Texas.
Oh.
So myself and Jimmy live here in El Paso. So whenever we play here locally in El Paso, it's me and Jimmy, and then we have like backtracks, so it kind of like sounds fuller. There's some like backtracks that has bass in it as well, so I mean it just kind of sounds like a full band. But whenever we're on tour is when we do the whole full band type thing. Esdeen from Austin, Texas joins us, and we actually just finished a tour just recently, so that was fun. That was cool. So that was the full band, but then here in El Paso is just me and Jimmy.
How long the tour lasted? 1 week? Or?
Yeah, it was just a week. It was one of those. It's a quick thing. It was. Usually when you hear like musicians do like tour, it's just like a couple of months, man. Like we all have full-time jobs, so I mean we have to ask for those days and stuff. So we got bills to pay, and it was just a week. So I mean that's kind of like the week that we took, and PTO, and we're just like, man, we just hit it. We hit the cities, and then the next city, next day, next city. So it was pretty fun. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about your instruments and what type of instruments you have. The strings, any pedals?
Oh, sure. Oh man, yeah. I just
please.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Who wants to start?
Well, Alan's really excited about this, but in my case, I actually have an 8-piece double bass drum set that I probably won't be able to use with As the City Sleeps, but that's okay because I'm able to break it down and kind of sort of piece together the drum set according to what the music calls for. So like for tours and stuff, I usually take like a 3-piece kit, very simple setup. That's pretty much it. Alan?
Can you go into detail, like
as far as the drums? Well, it's a Pearl Export series. It's actually a Joey Jordison signature kit. I use Paiste cymbals, 2002 series. Gotten really into the custom K cymbals also. I use ProMark drumsticks, DW hardware, double bass pedals. That's pretty much it.
For this project, right?
Yeah, for this project. And then it varies, like when we do an acoustic set, then I bust out with some congas. I think it's LP brand. But yeah, it's a simple setup, just 2 congas and bongos.
And how long have you been playing the drums?
You know what? I've been playing drums since I was 6 years old. I'm going to just throw it out there. I'm 36 right now. So it's been quite a few years, but I've been playing through middle school, high school. I even played in the UTEP drumline, jazz band, orchestras, you name it, I was involved. And I've had a few other projects too, other bands and stuff that I was jamming with. But it's been a pleasure to get back with Alan and work on some new projects.
And your influences as a drummer?
My influences as a drummer, I like Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa, a lot of the old jazz drummers. Probably my favorite drummer is Stuart Copeland of The Police. I love his rhythms and his sticking in hands. That's pretty much it. I as far as like heavier stuff, I like Danny Carey of Tool. That's pretty much, those are my influences, drums.
Yeah, because you guys play, 4 songs?
5, I think. Yeah.
And you only jumped to the drum set only in the
Yeah,
song, right?
yeah. I was
Any
playing.
reasons for it?
You know what? I just the song calls for like a really cool drum set, like a drum kit, rhythm. And so when I saw the kit behind me, I kind of eyed Alan, and I was like, hey, kind of like pointing at the drums, like, dude, like, let me get on the drums on this one. So.
Oh, that wasn't your drum set then?
No, that's not even my drum set.
Okay,
Yeah, that's not even my drum set. There was a drum set there, and I was like, you know what, I want to bust out with it. So yeah, I went from congas to the drum set, and I think it came out okay.
Oh, it was really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah.
I thought it was all planned.
No, it was spontaneous, man. Like just on the spot. Like, hey, there's a kit here. Let me try and get on it. Yeah.
That was cool. How about you?
I guess right now I'm playing with a Epiphone Les Paul, and I also have an Epiphone SG. The stock, basically, like, you know, anything when it comes to like Epiphone, like I don't change anything out, like the pickups or whatever. I'm the humbuckers. The tone is great. I use the Dario strings, 10s. Sometimes I use flat wound. They're they're not even, you can't even hear the little. So they're mainly for like jazz, but I mean I just like the feel of it, and like I like the tone and how it sounds. I also have a Fender amp, 212. That it was a special edition due to the fact that it has a red covering, and I think they only made like 500 of those. So it's like, you know, limited edition.
How much was that?
That was a good like $500. So yeah, and then beforehand, like I said, it was just an acoustic project, so I didn't really like felt the need for like a lot of like effects, like pedals or whatever. But I mean, as you know, kind of time went by, and I just kind of like, you know, the songs that I was hearing in my head, as I was composing, I was like, oh, it'd just be cool like with a reverb. And so I just kind of started compiling my pedal board, and like on and on and on and on. And right now I have like 12 pedals. And I mean, they range from like, you know, tremolo to like overdrive to reverb, and I mean, the Boss, you know, Matthews effects, tuner, all that stuff. They have a wah and volume, and so.
So you want to use when you have an acoustic?
Yeah,
set?
it's acoustic. I mean, acoustic is just basically straight. You know, I don't use any of those pedals.
What kind of guitar is it?
That's another story. So I used to have an acoustic guitar, man, and we were on tour. We were on tour with the San Antonio and Austin and whatever. And I guess, it was an Ibanez acoustic electric, and I was gonna use it, but I was it was kind of like, it's spontaneous. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna leave it. And at the spur of the moment, I didn't use it at all. So then, when the show was over, we got all our gear, and we're like, yeah. And then we're kind of celebrating, you know, let's get a beer and this and that. And I totally forgot about the guitar. And then not till we were in Austin, I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Oh, you mean you left it at the venue?
Do you guys know where my acoustic guitar is? No. Ah, shit. So I called the venue, like, yeah, it's here. All right, I'll pick it up one day. Okay, I don't know where it's at. So I left my acoustic guitar. I wrote a lot of songs. I recorded a lot of.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I'm looking for another acoustic guitar. The one I played today was somebody else's, and he just kind of let me borrow it. So, but yeah, it's just, you know, kind of. Those are the two. I want to get more guitars. I'm about to get a Paul Reed Smith, which I'm excited about, for not a lot of money.
Hopefully he won't forget it at another venue.
Hopefully I definitely won't forget that one. But that's when it comes to like equipment. So yeah, just every phone.
Influences as a guitar player.
You know what? Which is weird, and I didn't even know about until I hooked back up with this dude. But like learning guitar for this project, I guess like it's different. But I guess just learning guitar in general sense. I started really liking learning the songs from Maná and Caifanes.
And I don't know, whatever, man. Nobody knows that about me. Now maybe people will know. But I learned all the songs, and I got the chord books, and I was just like, I learned it, and that was the very beginning. And then my influence just started like sprawling out. I like heavier stuff like Seven Dust and Soil and all that Ozzy Osbourne, that type of stuff, Randy Rhoads. But also when I was learning guitar, the teacher was classically trained, so I learned classical guitar as well, and no one really knows about that as either. I don't really like to advertise it very much. But then it kind of morphed. As you age, you kind of tastes change or whatever. And I started really getting into really ambient stuff, like real kind of chill music, real I don't know, like just real like indie type of stuff. And it's like Denali. I really got into Denali and Copeland, As Tall as Lions. There's like a lot more now. I just just listen to a lot of indie stuff. Now it's like Da Marias and like Men I Trust and just like girl-fronted bands. So but yeah, those are the influences when it comes to like As the City Sleeps. So I'm kind of going for that, not necessarily like just copying, but I mean that's just kind of whatever flows is what you're gonna get, man. Basically, is what it is. So but yeah, I mean that's kind of how I write. I just kind of hear something and I just go with it. And sometimes like my hand just kind of goes automatically to the next chord, and I'm like, okay, that works. And it's kind of how Jimmy just got on the kid. I was like, let's just go, man. And like we try to just kind of explore the space. We don't have to. We don't like. I feel like Jimmy, like sometimes with like the drum beats that I'm asking him to do, they're very simple for what his skill set is, because like he's very intricate and like jazzy and stuff or whatever. And sometimes I feel like, oh man, I want him to have fun. I don't want it just to be a stiff beat, or just for him to be bored or whatever. So we jazz up. We do the arrangements, the musical arrangements for the songs, and we compromise. We're like, hey, what if with this? And I'm like, no, how about we do this here, but then you do your beat like after the verse, and you're like, okay, so we kind of come together and do the musical arrangement for that. So
what, as a drummer, that's a challenge too, because it's easy for me to just play fast and play all kind of crazy rhythms, but it kind of sort of helps me, trains me to go a different route, to kind of like kick things down a notch. But you can still be intricate with slow rhythms, you know what I mean? So it's all about adding effects or little splashes here and there, a little bit of a ride. But yeah, I mean, like Alan said, sometimes it can be a little hard for me to just keep just one steady straight rhythm. But that's okay. I mean, it's like a lesson. You know what I mean? You have to be able to. A good drummer should be able to play all kinds of rhythms at all tempos and stuff. So I think it's a good thing for me too.
So it's a two-man composition, right?
Yeah, I come up with like basically like the structure of the songs when it comes to like verse and lyrics and chorus and bridges or whatever. So the majority of the time when we're jamming out, I present them with something, and it's just like sometimes I tell them this is the drum beat I hear, like in my head. So like we try it, and then sometimes we're jamming out and he does something different. And it's not wrong at all. Like nothing is wrong. But I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, let's try that. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't have thought of it because I'm not a drummer. Some of the like I'm saying, some of the songs are very like simple. In my head, they have like a simple beat. But I mean, when he, that's kind of part of the whole writing process too. Is just like he's a drummer, so he's gonna like do some stuff that a drummer would do, and I never would have thought of it. So that's it's kind of the majority is just kind of the structure's already there, but I mean when it comes to the dynamics and just kind of like writing I guess drum parts, like sometimes I tell him like, no, this is how I hear it, and then he puts in his little input in certain parts and so on and so forth. So, yeah, basically.
And as a singer, your influences.
Oh man.
Like,
like I said, we just went up to Seattle, and I visited. I mean, Seattle is home of Soundgarden, and I absolutely love Chris Cornell. His voice is just like immeasurable to anything else ever. It's one of my main influences, just like singing and just kind of like dynamics. It doesn't necessarily like reflect with As the City Sleeps, but I mean he taught me kind of how to. It's weird. See, like it's kind of weird. Like with As the City Sleeps, I have a very boisterous voice. It's like very like big, and with the music with As the City Sleeps, it's just like very like ambient and chilled. So I need to like kind of compensate, like how Jimmy was saying. Sometimes you need to bring that down, and I'm still. I mean, it's a learning process when it comes to like learning, the singing and stuff. I mean, you're always trying to master your craft, or like try to challenge yourself. But Chris Cornell is one of my main influences. And then, like I mentioned before, like the bands that I listen to, like As Tall as Lions, Copeland, and like a lot of girlfriend bands as well. But I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily like try to emulate anybody. That's why like As the City Sleeps doesn't sound like Soundgarden or Audioslave at all. But it's just the influence. But it's just like I was saying earlier, it's kind of the same thing with like when I'm playing guitar and I'm like writing something. Whatever flows, however the vocal melody happens, and that's
were you a singer before a guitar player, or?
You know what? I think it just kind of came naturally. Like I started playing guitar, and I never really knew how to sing, but it just kind of came with it, like the intonation, the chords, and like when I would hit something, I would just be like, okay, here, and yeah, I really wasn't. I mean, I would take choir and stuff. I wouldn't really consider myself a singer before the guitar player, but I think the guitar like helped me hone my craft when it comes to like singing and stuff. So yeah.
And what's the genre you guys consider yourselves As the City Sleeps?
I think it's indie alternative, and then it has like ambient. I don't know, man. It's really weird because I don't like putting ourselves in like boxes. Like I guess like I like the crowd deciding of like what to call it, because there's obviously a lot of influences like between all of us, but I think like indie alternative, what would you call it?
Are you guys gonna keep playing like same type of music, or are you guys open to any other?
And that's what I'm saying. You know what? Which is weird because like there's one song that we have. How's it going? It's cool. There's one song that it's very jazzy, and unlike any other. It's cool. There's one song that's very jazzy. It has like a lot of like A7 chords and like very like open chords, and it was actually influenced by another local band, but it sounds like nothing unlike any As the City Sleeps stuff. So I mean, that's what came out whenever it came out. So I mean, we're not closed to like a specific genre. It's just like if it sounds good, like we can do it. Like I don't have any opposition to it, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's the future for As the City Sleeps? Are you gonna continue playing? Oh, you guys are gonna record one full album. You said right now.
Yeah, we're actually in the process of recording a full album right now. So we're maybe about halfway through, I guess you could say.
Yeah, like 25%.
Yeah, like 25% maybe. Yeah. Well, we started doing it, so hopefully that project will end soon, and we'll have a nice album to release and share with the world.
So you guys have like a first album, or?
Yeah, the first album it was an EP. It was a 5-song EP. Yeah, it's called Synesthesia. Came out in 2017, January, and that was actually it was actually before Jimmy joined the band. It was basically just kind of like a solo project, and I wrote it and I recorded it in San Antonio with one of our other friends. He was like the guitarist at one point for As the City Sleeps, and he could. Initially, he was like, "Hey man, do you have any like songs that I could kind of produce or shape?" And I was like, "Actually, yeah, I just recorded a song, and it was Whenever, and it's in synesthesia." And I sent it to him, and then he like did all sorts of crazy shit to it. And I was like, no, that's not what I was going for at all, dude. So I just send him like samples like Damien Rice, the Blower's Daughter, which is kind of what I was going for. He's like, oh, okay, all right, cool. So then from there, we kind of shaped. I kept on sending him I was telling you, I would compose the songs acoustically, and I would send it to him, and he would just kind of like do the arrangements, and we'd go back and forth, even though he was in San Antonio. And so we recorded it, and then like all those drums. I don't know if this is like movie magic over here, music magic, but all the drums in synesthesia are actually MIDI drums. They're not natural drums at all whatsoever. And most people like don't really notice. You know, they're just like, oh, those are MIDI drums, but they're mixed very well. So I mean, you can't really tell. And like now in today's what's it called? Sound things. What's it called? The programs. Like when you can't, they sound really natural.
Do you have a physical copy of it?
Not with us. I could send you the links out. We'll do the whole link thing, whatever. But you know what's funny? Like I opted not to like do like physical copies. And every show, like it doesn't fail. Like people always ask us.
We want physical copies.
Yeah, and see that's the thing, man. Because I thought I was like, it's 2017. No, everything's gonna download. Everything's Spotify. Everything's like Apple Music. No one's gonna want physical. But it never fails, man. Every single play.
Hey, come on, man. It started with the 80s, 90s with cassettes.
Cassettes. You know what?
Homemade cassettes.
Cassettes are in now. I don't know if you know that too.
No.
Cassettes, they're coming back. Yeah. But yeah, well, I mean, it's production, costs money and stuff or whatever. So.
Or even a USB too. There's some bands that sell their EPs on USBs.
That's true. Well, honestly, man, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, when it comes to that, I don't really do it for money, man. I just kind of want to. The way I see it, I just want to share my music, and it sounds really like weird. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. But I never sell stuff. Like I always give them like the Spotify link. They always say, oh, it's an Apple Music. I don't care, man. Just get it. Just become a fan. Just support us that way. I really don't care. I mean, we have shirts like when we're on tour. We had shirts, and that had a purpose because like gas in California and Oregon and Washington was like $5. So that had a purpose to like buy the T-shirts for gas. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I really don't. I mean, we invest, put money into like recording because it's expensive. But I think the LP I think we're gonna sell. We're actually really gonna look into because
that's gonna be pretty successful.
You should think about buying them too.
Yeah, no, the production of CDs is pretty expensive. It could get pretty expensive. I want to do vinyl, but that's really expensive. Even more expensive than CDs, man.
We'll get CDs somehow. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get CDs.
We'll figure it out.
Cassettes. I don't know.
Are you guys gonna play more shows in town?
I try to limit the shows we play here. Just because you don't want to play the same show over and over type thing. And then for some reason, I don't know. I just I really enjoy playing, but since I'm also a promoter, and I can just kind of basically pick a show at a venue like wherever I want because I'm pretty well versed with the people that do shows and stuff or whatever. And I could play here like basically like every weekend if I wanted to, but I like limiting it, due to the fact that it just kind of, I don't know, like if you have cake every day, like after the third day you're like, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. But if you have cake like maybe every once in a while, you're like, this is perfect.
Well, it depends on the type of cake too, because you have an acoustic set right now, but you can make a full band show,
right?
Which will be a different cake.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. I mean, I guess it all depends on. Sometimes, people ask us to open up for them, or like there's like a touring band's coming up. It's like, hey man, it's kind of your genre. So of course, that's good because there's they bring people and that because of their genre, because of their following. We kind of like, hey, we're local and we kind of sound like these dudes that are already like, kind of big. So those, of course, those are always going to be priority. But I try to limit when it comes to like me booking the show. So we don't know when the next show. Oh no, Roswell. We're gonna do Roswell.
Are you guys gonna do like a full band show so I can go and see?
Actually, I was gonna ask you. Like, I have Love Buzz in July 12th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do it or not. We could do the whole backtrack and full set.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so you guys are gonna be? You don't do like the full band, like.
Oh, I mean, it's usually on tour, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's usually when we go on tour or like when we hit up Austin, since our bass player's over there, that's where like we kind of unify and bust out with the whole group.
So as the recordings go, it's the guitar player, the bass player, the drummer, and the singer. Right? That's it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of musician friends, and they're gonna. I've asked him to like kind of like keyboard. He's gonna do some keyboards. Other friends are gonna do other keyboards, and as Dean, our bass player, he has equipment to record over there in Austin. So what's gonna happen is like he's gonna record his tracks, and then he's gonna send us like the whole file, and we're just gonna be like, doot, we're just gonna put it on the thing, and that's it basically. And so, and I'm gonna be playing like I actually recorded some bass as well, and I'm gonna record the rhythm guitars, basically all the guitars for the CD, and then he's gonna do like drums and percussions and some backing vocals.
That's kind of what makes it difficult to play like as a full band here, because I mean it's just multiple recordings of Alan or the bass player or other musicians. So I think it confuses a lot of people locally. When they hear us and see us, they think, oh, it's only a two-guy band, and that's as the city sleeps. But in reality, it's a lot more than that. It's just that we have to play to our means, So it's like playing football with like half of the team. You know what I mean? You just gotta play it as much as you can and hope that you do well.
Oh, it's because life happens, right? So.
Sure. Yeah.
And see, the thing is that we've tried a couple of bass players. Paso, man, it's very hard to get, man, especially good ones. And I'm really particular on who I play with, because there's other bands, and I'm just like, you start noticing like toxic behaviors, and I'm just like, So the bands that I play with now, they're I kind of handpick them, and I want to make sure that I get along with them, and they're not going to be like drunk, people being drunk, or people being like drugged up or whatever. That's why myself and Jimmy are always hooking up, because we know we work well together, that we're not always like we're very professional. We joke around. We're like brothers, me and Jimmy. So we joke around and stuff, but I mean, when it comes down to it, we do what we need to do. And then with like finding a bass player, we actually had two bass players here in El Paso.
Two bass players,
and they're either unavailable or like they're just kind of stuff happens and they're like kind of in and out, and we're like, dude, like the show's like next Tuesday. Like, are you gonna play with us or not? Well, it's because I don't. And I'm like, no, dude, I need someone like that's dedicated and committed. So for now, I'm just like, you know what? Let's just, do like backtracks. It sounds full. And people were like confused. They're like, where's the bass coming from? Like, no, it's the backtracks, but it's cool. But I would love his Dean to come down, every show. But I mean, he's in Austin. The drive down, and I would feel guilty for him, like, because gas is expensive, or like, you know, the plane ride is expensive, and so for right now, I just kind of, you know, we just do myself and Jimmy, and that's As the City Sleeps for now, and the backtracks. So I mean, are we gonna get other people? Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, we talked about it, right? Auditioning.
Yeah, actually, we did.
But I don't know, man. It's just in a city like El Paso, there's like so many musicians. But what I've noticed, even recently, like it's very, very fragile, man. All these like bands, like, you know, kind of hook up and they just like, you know, break up like within 2 or 3 months. And I'm just kind of like, no, man. I want something solid, you know, like. It's not an easy thing to do, like, you know, it's kind of basically like a marriage, but I don't know, man. I've noticed that a lot of bands are just kind of breaking up, and just like, it doesn't really give me a good feeling of like consistency or like dedication. So I was just kind of like, this works for now. If something changes, if I see somebody that's really, you know, wanting to get into it and really, you know, dedicated, then I guess me and Jimmy will decide to hold auditions and see what's up.
And your social media, please.
I think it's As the City Sleeps Music. Facebook and Instagram is As the City Sleeps Music. Both. And then we also have an EPK, which is an electronic press kit. Through artistecard.com/As the City Sleeps, and it tells you all, like, basically what we just finished saying, like the story of it, and it has some videos when we played at the Whiskey A Go Go. That was pretty cool. Yeah, we did. Man. Actually, at the Whiskey A Go Go, which is funny, that was the very first time we all 4 of us played in one stage at the same time.
What do you mean 4 of us?
Because it was me, Jimmy, Dean, and then the other guitar player that we had, Alex, that was involved at some point. And we didn't practice. We just went to the venue and we played, and like, okay, cool. And it felt right.
We actually tried doing a few practices through the video feed, you know, like live stream.
Skype,
yeah, so like on their end they would hear us, and then they'd play like their parts. And then on our end, we'd hear their parts, but
there was like a delay.
Yeah, there was a little delay, so it was kind of interesting. Yeah.
But what was I saying? What was the
Whiskey?
point? Oh yeah, we played the Whiskey A Go Go.
Yeah, that was an awesome experience.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Well, thank you, guys. This was As the City Sleeps. Any last words?
No, just kind of like, you know, check us out. If you like stuff like Tall as Lions, Cigarettes After Sex, Denali, Copeland, Men I Trust, that type of stuff, yeah, check us out. And you don't need to buy anything. I mean, well, the CD should be coming out, I think, hopefully, maybe next year.
Hopefully,
by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Next year. Yeah, just come check us out, man. I mean, I don't know. You think 2 dudes, you know, won't kind of make a difference, but yeah, come check us out and we'll change your mind.
Yeah, I just really want to urge, you know, the community to support local music in general. You know, there's so much talent out there, and a lot of bands and musicians putting out their art, you know, their creation, and they need ears, you know, they need support. And so I just urge anyone to just come out and, you know, support the scene, you know, go check out bands and check us out, you know. You guys will be pleasantly surprised with what you might hear. So, you know, if you can support us, that's really what matters the most. So thank you for those who support us, and for our families and friends and loved ones. We appreciate all the support.
Thank you, guys.